Badonna.
Badonna.
She is one of the most exciting artists in Detroit currently.
Aw.
BLKJAC, BLKJAC.
Yes.
It is a quartet of singers, songwriters, musicians, all female,
Yes.
beautiful, recently showcased in Kalamazoo, Sounds of the Zoo.
Mm-hmm.
You are a multifaceted artist with some interest in teaching, some interest in art, and generally just a creative person, an impassioned person, someone I wanted to talk to. Welcome to
Aw.
Dr. Gold Podcast.
That makes me feel so good. Thank you. Wow. Yeah, so all of that. Blackjack, that was actually our debut performance, our first debut performance. We debuted 7 original songs. Really dope experience. You know, I had the pleasure of getting connected with those girls through York, who you know of. And we all performed at South by Southwest this past March. And I just, I already had known of them because we're all from like the same area. But that was my first time actually getting to meet them and hang out with them because we all stayed in the same Airbnb. And I just realized how talented they were, and I had a song in mind and I hit York up like, hey, I need those girls' information. And like I sent them the song literally, I want to say like the next day they sent me back their verses and we're like all in and we were just kind of stuck after that. Yeah.
Blackjack is just the latest iteration. You've been doing music, winning contests since your teenage years. This is not
Yeah.
this is not a new thing.
No, it's not a new thing. I come from a very musical family. So I've always been around music. I started writing music at 9 years old. Funny enough, I started my first band when I was 10. And I had a neighbor named Paris. Paris, if you're watching this, thank you for being a sport. But she let me hold an audition at her house. And she had a pool. So I wanted to be like MTV Cribs. Like in my head, that's what I'm thinking. So I'm like, that'd be perfect. And it was like a bunch of kids in my neighborhood lined up. Even like my sisters and stuff were part of it. But we ended up starting a group called the Candy Girls when I was younger. But we were like rappers, like little kid rappers.
Yeah.
So it's always just been in me. You know what I'm saying? And throughout my life, I've managed to carry music with me. When I was 20, I signed my first publishing deal in Atlanta. I actually moved to Atlanta when I was 20 to pursue music. And, I was really young. I mean, to say the least. It didn't work out, I think, because there was so much more to music than just music. And I didn't understand that at that age. And, when life hits you, it hits you fast, And so, I came back and, kind of focused on being a mother because I settled down and had my daughter, and, got into the role of, working with children. And now I work with autistic children. And that just became my focus. My daughter sort of redirected like my focus for a minute, because I feel like when I was younger, because my grandparents had me in singing lessons and dance lessons and acting lessons, I was just always like focused on that, just that goal of, being this star that, I felt like I was, and I still feel like I am, but I was also a mother and a teacher. And I would not have known that, had it not been for that time off I took from music. And now I'm back. And now I'm back. And I'm writing some country and I'm writing everything.
Amazing. Yeah. I try to reinforce that often, this idea that children are not a burden, that having children is the best thing you can do with your life, that if you build it, they will come, meaning a lot of people say, I'm not ready. You'll get ready. You'll figure it out. Once they show up, you'll get that job. You'll buy that car. You'll do what it takes. And it's kind of about this idea of expanding your circle from what is it that I need into what is it that they need. And you kind of lose, it's ego dissolving, right? It's this experience of disillusion of the ego and the self.
I always say that children are brought into your life, not for you to so much teach them, but for them to teach you. It's very easy to be like on the outside looking in until you're like responsible for another person and them having to grow up, and be an adult. Because I always say, you're not raising children, you're raising children who are going to be an adult someday. So they have to know, how they have to know things, but you have to also know things. And a lot of us, the children in us aren't even healed, for us to be teaching. So, I learned a lot. I had to like kind of unlearn a lot, being a mother. And it taught, my daughter, really has been like leading the way for me. I wouldn't even be right here had it not been for her, because I'm gonna tell you, I was lost. I was very, very lost. And because I didn't want to let her down, I kind of just found myself.
You get a lot of sympathy for your parents too.
Yeah.
You realize just how hard it is. Just like, raising a baby is essentially an impossible task. It's, when they first show up, you're just like, I think you forget with each one. At least that's been our experience. It's like the third time it's all brand new.
Yeah.
And it's like you learned nothing from the last go around.
Yeah.
I want to learn more about what it is that keeps bringing you back to music. So what, I get it that you were singing at 9, but is there something about this art form as opposed to other art forms that speaks to you and connects with you, and what is it?
Yeah, it's very, very simple. The only thing that keeps bringing me back to music is God. I honestly, I got to a point where I didn't know if I wanted to come back to music because I didn't want to do it for the wrong reasons. I'm gonna be real with you. I became so just focused on following Christ, and over the last, few years, that's what's helped me to keep going in my field. Because I am an ABA therapist. I work with autistic children. I've always had God in my life because as a kid, I would go to church. I did come from a sort of, a Christian family, you know what I'm saying? And stuff like that. But I remember like right before I got back into music, this was probably like, because I dropped my first album a little over a year ago. It's only been last year. This all happened in a matter of like a year, like a little over a year, all of this stuff that has happened right now. But I remember saying, I don't want to do it if it's going to be for the wrong reasons. You know what I'm saying? I want to do it for the reasons that you want me to do it. So long as you do the work, he will make a way. And so I've just been doing the work. I've been getting up every single day and I've been praying and I've been consulting with him and I've been doing the work. And because of the outcome, I know that it's what I'm supposed to be doing. Music has been something I've used as like a crutch in my life. I like writing, right? I started off writing before I could really even sing. I kind of taught myself how to sing because I wanted to be able to sing the songs I was writing, if that makes sense. Yeah. And I write a lot of different types of music, which is why people are like, country. I'm like, I write everything. I like everything and I write everything and it's embedded in me.
What do you write about? What inspires you? Is it your personal experiences?
Yeah, it's mainly my personal experiences. I write just because I can. So I write all the time. Mainly when I'm writing for myself, it's just about whatever I'm feeling at that time. And it could be anything, when I'm writing with the girls or something like that, it's still all pulled from my personal experiences. There, it's already like in me, and I'm just putting it out there. I'm working on a project, a solo project, and it gets a little bit more deep. I did a song called Rolling Stone on my last album. I don't know if you heard it, but it's a song about my father who was never really in my life, and he's been battling with drug addiction his whole life. And my dad was a singer and, really talented singer, and unfortunately, he's still fighting that battle. But I wrote the song about him. And because if you hear it, it's kind of like lighthearted, it's more of like triumphant, like, yeah, my dad wasn't there, but I'm a successful and I'm great, and I'm blessed. But, me and York stripped it down when we went to South by. And for the first time, and I've sung that song so many times, and for the first time I sung it and I bawled my eyes out, I cried, and I couldn't even sing it. and I realized how deep my music is to me. Like, this wasn't just because when I wrote it, like, I didn't sit down and say, I want to write about my dad. When I just, hear the music, whatever just comes out. And then I don't even know until after it's out. But I cried, and I literally even called my dad after that. Had I not done that, because we hadn't talked in a while, had I not had that experience of, whoa, I do feel sad about this. And that moment, that part of me was healed. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I know that my music is a gift from God for me to just like get through the stuff that I've been through, because my life hasn't been easy, but I'm not going to sit here and say it has been hard, because I'm grateful, and music has, oh my God, it's been like my yellow brick road through the whole thing, really.
It led you to where you are today.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people use art as therapy, and the Rolling Stone piece really kind of connects with this idea that I was having about the Beyonce album. So Cowboy Carter, I've flipped completely 180 on this project in the last week, just reading the Alice Randall book. And she loves the album. She talks a lot about daddy rules. And I think the Blackbird record is the one that I was kind of thinking about, because my wife's critique was, why is she starting the album, with a cover of a British artist? Country music is uniquely American.
Yeah.
Alice Randall would argue it's uniquely Black and American.
Yeah.
But the Beatles cover, the Blackbird record, to me, it makes perfect sense, because for me, country music, that was the Stones. Growing up, that was, my dad playing the Rolling Stones was kind of like my connection with country music. It wasn't maybe, there's like some outlaw country also, like Merle Haggard and Christopherson maybe, but so that's how I think about the Rolling Stone idea. Who I still love. They're just an amazing band. I saw them with Charlie Watts, and they're unbelievable. I saw them in Jacksonville before Charlie died.
Yeah. I can appreciate, anything Beyonce does. I feel like it was the message in the song that she wanted to get across. Yeah. I don't feel like it had anything to do with anything other than, and then her having the other Black country women beside her. Exactly. I feel like that was, more so her saying, look, I'm going to do what I want, and I'm worthy of that. Like I said before, art is up for interpretation, so people can interpret it how they want to. I just respect it. I just respect everything she does.
I think it's a magical album. I think it's great.
It was magical. It was magical. It was magical. Yes.
And when I really think about what it was that I didn't like about it, or why I didn't connect with it, I got to do some hard thinking. And I think it was maybe partially something to do with the fact it was a Black woman doing country music.
Look, I mean,
maybe
I don't want to say this. I feel like, oh my gosh, whatever. I'm going to say it. I didn't listen to the album multiple times. And I appreciate a lot of things that Beyonce do. And it wasn't like anything to do with, and I'm Black saying this, so take it from me. It just wasn't like, I mean, it was cool, but it wasn't all that to me. To me, I feel like it was more so just her making a statement, and I just respect that. Is it something I'm just going to be listening to? And like, no, there was a couple songs now. What's the one song? Like, something daughter, I forget.
She did the Jolene cover, which I thought was terrible.
Was cool.
I thought
it was cool.
That was
it was
the one
fun,
big mistake.
But I listened to that one time. I only listened to it one time. The album.
Yeah, she ruins the idea of Jolene. So Jolene is really like a phenomenal record. Dolly Parton is, I've been a fan for a long time, and we go to Dollywood and whatever. But in Gatlinburg, but the whole idea of Jolene is, I am small. Mm-hmm. You are great. Mm-hmm. Don't take my man, even though you can. Mm-hmm. Right. And Beyonce flips it.
How did I'm telling you, I only listened to the album once. So how did she do it? I heard the song, but what was her way of doing it? She's like,
if you take my man, I'm going to shoot you.
Oh, okay.
It was the opposite. It was the opposite idea. She was doing the empowered thing.
And you know what? Now that I think about it, that was the vibe she was given throughout all the songs on the record. Because I want to, what is the song I'm thinking about? It's like when she's talking about the blood stains on her dress and stuff.
Is it the one with Shabuzi?
Ain't nothing like my father. Oh my gosh.
Maybe the Daddy's Rolls. But
yeah, is it that one?
Maybe. We'll figure it out.
But that one, she was like talking about murdering people. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, the other critique, there were a bunch of critiques for my wife, and we'll get off Beyonce, obviously.
Yeah.
But one was like that she grew up rich, that she's from Houston, which is fine, and she can start her record with, this ain't Texas, whatever, which is cool. Like, I respect that she's from the South, so like she can claim that sort of. I don't know if you have to be from anywhere to claim country music.
I feel like in this day and age, music is like just it's all a blend of everything. Like, why are we still like generalizing, what is what? Like, I feel like just listen to the music. I don't really generalize myself as country, just to put it out there in case anybody wanted to know. I don't go around calling myself country, y'all, okay? So don't get offended. But if I write country, if I write something that I feel is country,
yes,
and I put it out there and I distribute it into the world as country, because by the way, other stuff was distributed as a country song, and so was Rolling Stone. But yeah, it's just about what comes from me. But my stuff is really like a blend of country, R&B, pop. It's everything.
Yes.
And I ultimately just want country fans to know that I get the appreciation for country music because I really taught myself how to write listening to country music. I mean, like the storytelling aspect of it, the simplicity of music that people just don't understand because they don't understand themselves. I feel like writing country or listening to country music, country artists, Jolene, all Dolly Parton, all that stuff. It's a simplicity to it, but it's almost like watching your favorite movie. It's captivating of the heart, and so that's why. I write the way I do. At the end of the day, I just want country fans to know that there's other like ways and styles of music other than country that you can appreciate. They might like my stuff. You know what I'm saying? They want to come to this side. I don't necessarily got to go to your side. You might want to come over here. You know what I'm saying? I can do bonfires and all that. So it don't matter. But I just feel like people just need to appreciate the art. The art is what matters to me.
It made me think a lot about what country is and like where these divides are. I think the big one that I'd thought about a lot was between rock and roll and R&B, and this kind of very racialized stance, which was basically rock and roll is R&B for white people or made by white people. And so that was like the big divide. But then country music to me, and maybe this is also borrowing a little bit from my Black country, is like, it is maybe a little God-centered. And so like there's this positive message somewhere that is sort of required. So, she talked about the difference between the blues and country, and that one's tricky. But she says something like, the blues, there is no bottom. Things can always get worse. In a country story, there's redemption. There's a redemptive arc.
Absolutely. And if you go on my Instagram, I promise you, look at my highlights. And I have a highlight where I quoted myself. And I said that country music is as close to, gospel as you can get. And my favorite style of music to listen to is gospel worship. I was listening to it on the way here. My favorite style to kind of like write, is country. Whenever I'm feeling down, I want to hear some strings. I want to hear, so in even blues, because I've been working with Kenny Olsen, by the way, and Kenny is all about that rock and roll, but like that bluesy soul, and it takes us back because we call it like modern day Motown. What we're doing right now, we're bringing that what we're talking about, what we're describing back to life. So I'm really excited about that, y'all. We have some really amazing stuff going on. Me and him, like about 8 songs right now that we've finished, but he's on tour right now. Shout out Kenny.
No, that's great. Talking about doing your own music versus maybe some covers, and how performance matters, and whether putting out a record matters at all. Whether you can, how do you see yourself as more a performer or more somebody behind the scenes? Do you think that you have to have the spotlight? Do you think that you could be a songwriter for other artists? And kind of like, what's the trajectory now that you've had all this perspective with Atlanta and everything else?
So I'm glad you asked me that, because when I was younger, I had no confidence in myself as a singer, but I had all the confidence in the world of myself as a writer. And that was pretty much what got me the exposure that I did get when I was younger, diving into music out there. But when I came back into it, I said, this has really just been God's will. And I'm just doing whatever, my conscience is telling me to do. I'm realizing like, yeah, I am a performer. I've always been a performer. I mean, I was a dance choreographer. At 17, I danced competitively, ballet, jazz, hip hop, everything from the age of 8 until I was 16 from Motor City Dance Factory. I did that a while, and I would do like performing arts camps as a kid at Mary Grove College, like every summer. And my grandparents would take, because my grandparents raised me, so they would take me to like acting or commercial auditions and stuff. So performing all of this, I feel like I'm just kind of like coming back into it, but as like a better version of myself. And yes, realizing that I am a singer, I'm a writer, I'm a performer, I'm all of those things, and I'm just, trying to give it to you, in the best way that I can, I guess. But I'm glad that you mentioned the covers. So this is the thing, y'all. I was always terrified of covers. I was terrified of covers because I depended so much on my own writing for myself. You have to really like exercise your voice. And because I was never like a technical singer like that. Not at this age, recently I've been, working on that. But I'm like, I got to just start doing covers at this point in it, if I'm going to really take it there. Like it's important, to do covers. And so I've been working on a couple different covers and,
nice.
Just making them my own, really. That's the only way for me to do it. I have one to Cutting Crew.
Okay.
Because if I'm going to do a cover, it's going to be something that speaks to me, and it's probably not going to be anything that you guys would think it is. Because at the end of the day, my musical taste comes from like all over the board. I like everything. You wouldn't even understand. Like everything from like the 50s down, my grandmother was like a huge like Elton John fan, and Eric Clapton. Like there's so many, old school Motown, Temptations, that I grew up on everything. And then I feel like on my own time, because I did grow up in the suburbs, that's kind of where like country and, punk rock and stuff like that came along. I was around that, like I wasn't listening to rap growing up. And my grandparents didn't really let me listen to just anything. It's not really shocking, I feel like, for people who know me to understand like my musical taste and where it comes from.
Yeah. Did you go to Vans Warped Tour?
No.
I remember that was big. And ska had a big moment in Ann Arbor when I was growing up. I was born in 87 in Detroit in Oak Park.
I was born in 91.
And so similar, but maybe missed just a little bit of the ska was big when I was starting in high school, like just after 9/11. So we had 9/11 my freshman year at community high.
Mm-hmm.
And then the neutral zone
I was in
like the hang.
3rd grade, I think.
What?
No, and for 9/11, was that
You're only
5th
4
grade?
years younger than me if you were born in 91.
Was that 5th grade?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I'm not good at math. I'm not good at math. So yeah, I was in 5th grade.
Yeah. Yeah, not as impactful maybe when you're in 5th grade, unless you have people in New York.
I remembered it because I remember like everybody freaking out, like, oh, we're gonna die. Like, I don't even know, kids just take stuff differently. Like, so, I mean, sorry, should I not have said No, but I was a kid, so like kids were hearing about it and we were like freaking out.
Yeah. They let you watch it on the TV? They put it on? Or
I feel like they sent all of us home early, and my grandparents definitely had it on.
Yeah.
We was definitely watching the news, so I remember seeing all that stuff.
You were talking about the choreography and teaching dance. You give the girls in BLKJAC the moves. They're pretty impressive. This is like a little choreography, some synchronized things.
Yeah, I had to. York was like, look, we're going to get it. We're just going to do the DJ. You guys are going to have stands. We're going to have wireless mics. And I'm like, we have to do choreography. Choreography for me is huge. Like everything that I do, I choreograph the way I dress when I'm on stage. I choreograph the way that I talk, the way that I walk, because that's the performer in me and like the trained performer in me, I guess. Honestly, I didn't really have to do much because they're all very like, they're performers in themselves. I think Jackie was like a cheerleader. Laura was a dancer. Kira was a dancer. They're all very like talented on their own. So it wasn't hard, and they follow rules. So it was like, heck yeah. I was actually blown away because I'm gonna tell you guys something. Like when I first met them in South by, and this is like like just all praise, okay? When I first met them in South by, Jackie and Kira, they both play instruments. So, like these little like girls behind the guitars and stuff, and Laura, she's in her band with Zach, and it wasn't until, I got a hold of them that I started seeing a little bit of me rub off in them. And I'm telling you, it's so great to see, because every time, because we're all solo artists too, and more and more they're moving and they're dancing on stage, and that's all I could have asked for. But yeah, choreography, I feel like, is very, very important. It's very important to being a performer, or, being taken serious as a performer. You wouldn't imagine the difference that it makes, but it makes all the difference in the world.
I think, yeah, especially if there's, 4 singers. It's like it kind
You
of
have
a
to be.
callback to
You have to be.
Motown, and
Yeah.
they moved in sync.
And that's what we wanted to hold on to. So when I said it, I said, we're going to be doing simple moves, not too many dancing. Like a lot of our dance moves we did behind our mic stands, it was just like simple rocking back and forth. We did the little TLC thing, so it was just really cool, because like I said, it all brings me back to like what I love about music, what I remember about watching artists and listening to artists growing up,
Yeah. I think people want to show. They want to be taken away from the mundanity of their lives.
Mm-hmm.
They want to escape for an hour or two.
Yeah.
And it's important to provide that.
Maybe
sometimes you feel like your calling or your service to the world is this teaching thing, is the, connection with children and kids with special needs. But this is also a really important and valuable service. And I had to teach myself that with the DJing, was like, you're not just getting people drunk and encouraging them to make bad decisions and have sex in the bathrooms and do cocaine or whatever they're doing.
Yeah.
But you're also giving them this chance to escape from their really tough, often terrible lives.
I think my calling is my testimony. So through everything that I do, that is just a part of me, there is still God's child underneath all of that. And I do have a story. I've been through a lot. When you hear the way that I represent myself and the way I speak about myself, you wouldn't know any of the trauma that I've been through. My daughter looks at me like I'm just like the greatest thing on earth. People have to know that it is possible to overcome anything through Christ, because that's what I did. When I say I was at the bottom of the pit, I was so low that the only way up was through him. That's all I could do at that moment. And he put me right where I am right now. So the calling is just to get that story across and empower people through that. It's not about what this world can do for you, but what you can do for this world. Once you are chosen and you have, the honor of being here, I feel like you need to be figuring out, what can I do to make it better? And that all comes down to not being the victim. I was in an abusive relationship, with my daughter's father, and I allowed a lot of things to happen to me, and it's crazy because throughout everything, you learn so much about yourself. I've just been learning so much about me. I couldn't even put it on, anything else, and so now at this point in my life, I'm literally taking control of it all, and that's because I have been following Christ, and I've just been surrendering to what I don't understand. What I do understand is that our purpose is to love, take care of thy neighbor. Your true purpose, and the only skill you need to make sure you're good at, is your people skill. How you treat the next person. I honestly feel like that, because the next person could be the next president. You don't know whose plant, what plant you're watering. And it could be such a crucial part, to our world. What I went through could have killed some people. And I've been sober for about 3 years.
Let's go.
It's crazy to talk about. I don't want to get emotional.
We got tissues.
I don't like. I'm sorry. Yeah, but it's hard, and I got through it, and I couldn't have done it. I couldn't have done it without, Christ. I couldn't have done it without knowing who I am. I am just a sinner, a child of God, and I still have a purpose here. And I knew that so long as I, you know, let go of everything outside of His will, that was going to be good.
For me, it was 9/18, birth of Dev and Naomi. Last time I was in here, my wife was 9 months pregnant. I was talking with Jorg.
Mhm.
Shout out Jorg.
Yeah.
Garcia Jorg, Detroit. Amazing. And, I did that last podcast with no idea or no expectation, really kind of no knowledge of what was going to occur. But now, after my 8 nights sleeping in the closet behind the NICU, a lot has changed.
Yeah.
And, I just did these kind of wellness walks, these little laps around the hospital when there wasn't much else to do. And just asked my angel, asked God, asked Jesus, spare my daughter's life, save her, and I'll do whatever it takes.
That's the same thing I said. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. I said, take care of Mia. I said, and I'll take care of the rest because
So I want to get baptized. I want to do the Jordan River.
Same.
I'm going to go to the same spot Jesus got baptized by John the Baptist.
So I want to say I have a really great, so my church, Brightmoor Christian Church is in Novi. Pastor Jamie is amazing. It's non-denominational, but that church, I mean, you just know when you know. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna tell you, like, even like the talk that you had with God, that I'm telling y'all, like, I didn't even. It's like He came to me. It was like I was on the floor and He came to me and was like, "Are you ready?" And I just like, I just knew because, I feel like it was because of music, like literally, because I'm always writing when I'm down, and I'll be writing, and then next thing you know, I'm writing, and it's about God. And I feel like every time I wrote about Christian music, it was God saying, like, "Are you ready to like come back?" I forgot to add that part to my story. That was the moment, when I started like praying because I was writing a song and I'm like, this sounds like a gospel song, and that's what happened. But wait, what were we just saying before that?
You're talking a little bit about your church and about asking God to...
My church. So I want to get baptized at my church, and but they have like a thing called growth tracks that you have to go through. So I'm in the process of going through growth tracks with my church so that I can get baptized. Bringing my daughter along the way was very, very, very important to me. And we've only just got back in church over the course of 2 years. So Mia was not like really like privy or, acquainted with church. I was as a kid, but I had never taken her, so I don't think she knew what to expect. And I didn't know what to expect. And one thing I didn't want to do was force something on her, which is very important for me. But I pray for my daughter every night, but I can only do but so much. I know that God has the rest. And I didn't want to force something on her she wasn't going to be interested in. And her first time going to church, I'm like, you're going to go with the youth side. And I'm going to be over here. And she came out of there. She's like, Mommy, I need a Bible.
Wow.
Actually, we got to go to Barnes and Noble. I need a Bible because next week, if I bring my Bible, I'm gonna get some candy and I got to read this scripture. I'm like, oh, and I haven't really done much, but just, be an example. Because at the end of the day, I feel like kids don't follow our advice; they follow our example. No doubt. So I've just been, my daughter, she'll hear me in the car. My daughter likes stuff like Drake and stuff, y'all, and I don't like that. I'm not a Drake fan. I'm like Team Kendrick every day. I don't care. And so she's like Team Drake, and so. But I play so much gospel. And so even today I'm taking her to school and I'll be playing it and she's singing the words, but she don't even realize what she's singing. And that's what it takes. You know what I'm saying? So I know that my baby is covered, because I keep God around her. So I feel like it'll always be in her. And that's how it was for me, I feel like, growing up.
Yeah. I mean, I really like the ritual side of things, being raised Jewish. I think the ritual piece is really important. I see that in Catholicism a lot, the ritual, the sacraments. So they have baptism, they have the anointing of the dead, the anointing of the sick.
I feel it's all very important.
And so, doing, keeping the holidays. Right now we're in Sukkot, which is my favorite Jewish holiday. So a week where we live in a booth to remind us of
I don't really know too much about Jewish holiday.
The 40 years in the desert. So, in order to make it to the promised land, you gotta, first of all, it can't be the people that were enslaved. They have to completely turn over. So that generation can't go to the promised land.
Mm-hmm.
And through the 40 years in the desert, that's where you learn how to not block your blessings, to stop blocking your blessings. That's what the booth represents. So, people don't usually sleep there, but you take your meals there, you go out. It has to be temporary roof, so it has to be like a thatched roof. Eat a new fruit, which is fun. We've had like star fruit and dragon fruit, and another traditional one is the one with all the seeds, the pomegranate. There's like a story that has 516 seeds, which is like the same number of positive commandments in the Torah or something like that, or positive and negative combined.
I love pomegranate.
Really?
I like pomegranate seeds a lot.
I don't know how to eat them.
I eat them with honey and dark chocolate chip pieces.
Go.
And I just yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, pomegranate.
It's a really good honey pomegranate chocolate salad.
Sounds fire.
Yeah. I think I saw that on TikTok. It's one of those TikTok things. They have all the little TikTok things, and I saw it, and I've been obsessed with it.
Do you feel like the social media algorithms, that the way that social media is programmed, and some people even think AI is programmed, is leaning towards darkness, is kind of like intentionally taking us into a negative space?
Yes, I think inevitably good and evil work hand in hand. The devil is in places and God is in places at the end of the day, and everything. Mine is good because I just watch good stuff. I don't be seeing a lot of the stuff that y'all see, but sometimes, it depends. I don't really like Facebook. I'm starting to not like Facebook.
Yeah, I have my
It's too much drama on Facebook, and everybody grandma on there.
My 5-year anniversary off Facebook was last year. I'm really proud of it. Yeah.
Yeah, off of it?
Oh yeah.
Oh, you know what? I'm about to delete Facebook.
Delete. Instagram's next.
You about to delete Instagram?
It's hard.
I can't delete Instagram.
I don't want to be part of Meta. I don't want to be. I don't support Mark Zuckerberg.
I don't like AI. I don't like nothing AI.
When I went to
did you
San
see
Francisco,
how Timbaland starting the AI record label?
No.
You didn't see that?
No.
They've been talking about it. They have an AI.
Oh wait, Timbaland. I thought you were talking about Justin Timberlake.
No, Timbaland.
Yeah, Timbaland.
The AI record label.
Cool. He's gonna sell songs that are written by robots.
Yep, and he has AI artists too.
Not a fan. Yeah,
not a fan at all.
Yeah, I'm really.
Boo tomatoes.
Yeah, no, not at all. I mean, I think that's one of the big problems with Spotify is that a lot of the music is basically AI generated.
No, the problem is that they're sitting here and disregarding an entire world of artists that exist. No, this is like a money grab. I don't know what kind of weird. Can I cuss? No,
yeah.
I don't know what kind of weird shit they're on. But there is so many talented people out there, and there used to be a system where it was easier for them to be found, where it mattered, where talent mattered, and it doesn't matter anymore. And it's all about propaganda, and it's all to ruin your minds, to just be very quite frank with you. And so that's all they care about. So I just hope people have the sense, you know what I'm saying? Because it's going to take artists like me and people like you, like people who are going to actually speak up, you know what I'm saying? And like say that it's not right, because there are artists out here. Like why are they not good enough? What are you saying, Timbaland? I'm confused. What are you talking about? Are you talking about the artists you know? The people you're looking at? Because real people who are like, he goes on his thing and he has like a little live thing and he has people come on a live and they have to pay to send him a song. They pay to send him a song and then he does a review about the song, okay? And that's it. And I guess he chooses one to work with or something like that. This man's argument to people's opposing to his AI, well, y'all aren't as good as AI writers. Like, who was y'all? Who are you talking to? It's insulting to your characters. I wouldn't let Timbaland talk to me like that. Because I write better than Timbaland and AI, to be real. And what is AI? It's artificial intelligence. It just mimics the brain, like your brain structure, like the brain structure of already human beings. Like they're just planting your faces. Like they're not gonna plan my face.
They said it was like ChatGPT gets 70% of its information.
I'm not an
from
AI
Reddit,
person. I'm not even really good at
20% from Wikipedia. Can you imagine just like 90% of the nonsense it's spewing back at you is Reddit and Wikipedia, the two most biased
and it's like you can't escape. You can't
sources that exist.
This algorithm, you can't escape. It's everywhere. It's like in the air what they're doing to people and people's kids.
What's the alternative? So should people be going to local shows? Should people be buying music on Bandcamp, going back to vinyl, going back to tapes, to actually paying money for digital media?
See,
And
I don't talk like that because I
collecting
don't
digital
know.
media?
I don't know, and I feel like it wouldn't matter anyways. For the artists who care, keep making art, keep putting yourself out there. You got to work twice as hard as the devil's people because they are working, and that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to get there because I really can't depend on nobody but myself, and I know how to bring God's people back. I know what I'm supposed to be doing, and I know my gift and the message that I have through music, can change the world. And so that's all I just kind of focus on. I feel like everybody should be focusing on that. I feel like everybody should stay very positive. Try to get out of the media for real. Stop letting the media fool you and trick you into thinking, because I'm gonna tell you, like Isaac said, like there's a lot of, do I call you Dr. Isaac?
Whatever you want.
I'm
Isaac's
sorry.
cool.
I feel bad.
You don't have to.
Okay. What do you want me to call you?
You can call me Isaac.
Isaac. All right. I don't know. That was funny. Like Isaac said, there's a lot of evil things out here, but there's a lot of good things out here. The good things are just not on display for you to see because they might be happening around you. Like God is all around us. I promise you. Like even, just being blessed to wake up every day is a blessing. And I don't know. Can I say what I want to say? Are you sure?
Please.
So listen, I just want to get this message across, okay? God does not kill people. The devil kills people, okay? That's something you have to understand because I feel like people don't understand, like the miracles of this world, man will take credit for. And the evils they'll put on God, where if there's a God, why did this happen? Because there's the devil, okay? The devil is here with us. He's not up there with God, okay? So you have to understand when, the Bible teaches us to be blessed for every day you have, not because God gave it to you, but maybe because the devil didn't get to you. So I just feel like don't expect for evil, to not exist because it's going to exist. You have to be the light around it.
My first thought is about what was that tree? What was the tree of the knowledge of good and evil? To me, it's very obvious. It was a mushroom. It was a magical mushroom. It was psilocybin. That was what people were doing. That they left, the Garden of Eden, where they were they didn't have any knowledge of what's good and what's evil, and their eyes were opened. It literally says their eyes dilated. It was like, okay, that's obvious. The snake led her to the fruit, the fruiting body of the mushroom, all the popes, in the 700, 800, whatever, 900, they would always wear these kind of mushroom-shaped hats. And
I feel like some things like you're not supposed to understand, and I just try to I don't know, focus on me and what I can do for him. I spend a lot of time talking to God. I spend a lot of time connecting to him. And I for a minute had like this little ministry going on TikTok. I don't know how to work TikTok, where I would like post different things in different ways. Like you can connect to him and, I'm saying he can work through you in different ways that you actually can like reap blessings through doing like stuff like what I call shadow work. That's the work that only you and God can see. And I'm just really driven by just my own connection with him because of what he's done for me. A lot of times we tend to not pay attention to our conscience, that little voice, like something's telling me this person isn't right for me, or something's telling me I feel guilty about this. Follow that voice because we tend to ignore it and just do what's in our flesh or what's in our nature. But a lot of times that is your direct line to him.
Knowing the enemy, it can be very, very instructive.
Knowing, exactly.
So, what is Satanism? Well,
because I'm going to tell you, those spirits, they might be metaphysical, but they use our bodies as hosts. And I've had demons that I've had to pray off me. We're all spiritual beings, and these bodies aren't really ours. That's how I feel. I feel like you are a spiritual being, and you're tied to something much bigger than what you think, and your mind is what's going to keep this alive. Satan and demons are real, and you can speak them away from you. You can pray them off of you. You don't have to be like that. It's very easy to find Christ. I don't think people are scared, maybe because of who they think he is. Because people still look at me like, if you're so godly, why do you? Because you don't even know who God is. Like, if that's what you think.
The sense world is it's a fallacy. It's it's an escape from what's real. Like you said, we're spiritual beings. We're meant for more. We're a consciousness, I think, that's connected. And that was another thing that I got from Genesis, is this idea that we're all brothers. And so brothers and sisters, and, you know, I mean, they go through the list of people, starts from Adam, goes to Cain and Abel, you know, Eve is all of our mothers. So literally we are brother and sister. You know, we're related.
You're my brother.
No doubt. You know, but so is the homeless person that you stepped over. Although Detroit really doesn't have that many homeless. I think it's
no, we
it's
have homeless, but see, our homeless people have class. Okay, so let me just say, no, because they be trying to do Detroit so bad. Let me tell you, I've been all over this country. Okay, our homeless people would never. And so me and my friend, we have this like ongoing saying where like when we're out of town and we see something, we like Detroit would never. Like it don't matter what it is. Like we would never. And like this homeless man, we were in Austin. He literally came up to us and like stuck his tongue out at me, like tried to like lick my face. It was so crazy. But then I thought about the fact, like when I go to like LA or when I go to DC or when I go to places, you see so many homeless people, and it's not like we don't have them, but ours be like in the cut. They be having they shit together. You know what I'm saying? They probably used to work for GM, probably smoke a little crack. You don't know, but they have that Detroit mindset. It's really Detroit versus everybody. And Detroit really is the blueprint for everything that happens. I just want y'all to know that music, automotive, which pretty much like changed the whole industrial industry. Like, come on now, stop playing Detroit.
'Cause I'm a D-town hottie.
Detroit versus everybody.
I got some quotes about Detroit from Alice Randall I thought you might like. She said,
I like them.
she said, there's an emotional armor called Detroit chin up swagger. She said, according to the gospel of Kossi, Kossi, and me, this was a difference between blues and country. The blues exists in a world where Satan is real and God is dead, or in a world where there was never a God, or in a world that is hell on earth now. It exists in a world where often the best you can do is fly above the world and up to cloud 9 with whatever gets you high. My other favorite quote so far from the book is, traditional is a black woman. Meaning, if they don't know who wrote the song, it was a black woman. It was a black man that was picking cotton.
Yeah, it was traditional. Yeah.
Lil Hardin, one that I found out about. That was kind of amazing. One of the first recorded country records, 1928, something like that, was Blue Yodel No. 9. Lil Hardin was the pianist who played on the entire record. In fact, there's not a single bar that she didn't play on. Black woman.
Wow, she's a black woman.
Esley Riddle was the 3-fingered guitarist that taught the Carter family how to play guitar. The reason that the Mother Maybelle played with just 3 fingers was because she learned it from that man in the hollers. D. Ford Bailey, the first superstar of the Grand Ole Opry. So in 1928, the first full year of the Grand Ole Opry, Mr. Bailey played on 49 of the 52 shows, 20 more appearances than the next most frequent artist.
Wow.
Bringing us, so he's the first superstar, bringing us to the quote, D. Ford isn't just the father of black country, D. Ford is the father of country and was country's first superstar, period, exclamation mark.
Wow.
How in the fuck does that get forgotten?
Right.
Shout out Alice Randall.
Shout out Alice Randall. And it's so good to educate yourself because like people don't even know this stuff without educating themselves. You know what I'm saying? So
Charlie
you're
Pride.
The best.
Charlie Pride, legend, absolute legend.
Yeah.
Black cowboy. I mean, she talks, you know, one of the coolest things about the book is it's not just a history book, it's her history.
Yeah.
And so she talks about what it was like being a woman
in the
60s, in the 70s. So I'm going to give you my copy right now.
Are you?
Yeah. Not to keep.
No, I don't.
Read. But one of the things I like about lending books is it establishes like, I'll see you again.
Oh, yeah. Maybe. If I don't steal it, I might steal it.
Oh,
I'm kidding.
There's a few out there. My copy of Cormac McCarthy's The Road. Actually, that woman, my cousin, I think I lent it to. She passed, unfortunately. So I don't know that I'll get that one back. And then there's this amazing autographed yoga book from Keena McGregor that I lent out to one of the former podcast guests, and that book hasn't been mailed back yet. Shout out Montana
You're like a
Mitchell.
librarian.
Well, my sister's a librarian.
Really?
Yeah, in LA.
I love.
She's like a research librarian. Pretty amazing. That's who put me onto the idea of picking this one. There's plenty of histories to choose from, but this one was dope. And so one of the things she talks about that I thought connected that you might spark something up for you was about how just hard it was being a woman in the music industry, and how basically every interaction she had, she talks about how she stopped inviting male songwriters over to her house to write, that every interaction felt sexualized, felt charged with that kind of energy. Everybody wanted something from her.
Mm-hmm. Yep, for sure. That played, and that will come along when when I do tell my story, but it played a big role in why I escaped music from Atlanta. Because like I said, music was about everything other than music. I guess for me, I didn't know, and it wasn't until, like I said, I didn't know what I knew now, that yes, it is very, very hard being a woman, first of all, and then being a Black woman on top of all of that, in this industry. And, you do have to, as much as I hate to say it, now coming back into it, I've taken a totally different stance. I'm not allowing myself to be silent. I'm not going to allow myself to be in spaces I'm not appreciated just to say I'm around somebody, or I did a song with somebody. I'm not going to be disrespected, so I've had to speak up for myself. Like I said, I'm just that broken little girl, and I'm making a way. You're not going to get in her way. So, I almost have to tell people how to treat me, rather than just expect that they're going to do it because I'm a righteous person. It's been working for me. It's been working for me. It's definitely hard, especially doing country music as a Black girl. When I first got into music, I was always like R&B, pop, not too far off, but I wasn't doing rap or nothing like that. It wasn't until I started dabbling on this side, that I started realizing it is like a sort of like a gatekeeping sort of, I don't know if it's because I'm Black. I don't know if it's because I'm not country, but not everybody who does country music is actually country, in a sense.
Post Malone.
I mean, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, I don't know what it is.
Beyonce.
Right, but
Miley.
Right. A lot of people. And so I just keep doing what I do, but yes, it is very hard. And it's crazy because I'm the type of person, I don't expect, and York will tell you, I don't let nobody do nothing for me for free. Okay. Because that's where I messed up as before. I don't care if it's nope. How much you want? Here you go. You need it. What you want to send me an invoice? How are we going to do it? That's, I handle myself a certain way in this industry, and you have to as a woman, if you want to be taken seriously, because I'm going to tell you what, men will be very quick to objectify a woman, but he'll let you objectify yourself first. And women will do that. Women in this day and age will objectify themselves way before a man will. I'm a woman and I can attest to that, but I'm not going to ever play myself like that. You know what I'm saying? So I do handle myself as a business when I'm working with men. I'm not going to say that I don't work with men, but there's a way that I handle them, and they have no choice but to respect me, because I've been there and won't ever happen again.
What advice would you have given to Brianna on her way down to Atlanta?
I met somebody online, who was into music out there. So I told you I was on my own. I was very young. I actually became a stripper at the age of 19, right after high school. I actually did not finish high school. I got my GED because, like I said, I was going through a lot and I was on my own. And so I had a lot of money at a young age. I grew up at a young age, but I was also already very mature by what my grandparents are already instilled in me. You know what I'm saying? I want you to know, this, once I grew up, because it was kind of just on me at that point, it didn't matter. Once I left home, I didn't blame anybody else for anything. I just kept going. I had a lot of money. I had a cousin that lived out there already. And so I'm like, bro, I'm going to go to Atlanta. I'm going to do music, and I had a manager out there, Nadia. Shout out Nadia. I love her. She still follows me. I grew up. It taught me a lot, but I mean, some of what I had to go through wasn't right. Yeah, so it's really hard to like heal after that situation. Coming back to Michigan, feeling defeated, feeling like I don't know who this person was, and at that point, that's when like kind of drugs and stuff became a thing for me. And granted, once I met my daughter's father, because I essentially went back to the club when I came back, but I met my daughter's father and left, had Mia, and it changed my life, but still I was suffering through a lot of things, and kind of functionally, trying to get through it. I don't think I would have went, but I can't even say that. So it's like, what do you even say, you know, about something like that?
Yeah.
It's hard.
How do you learn to trust people again
I
after
didn't trust people. I didn't.
after they've seen you transactionally like that?
Yeah, I didn't know how to trust people, and it's like it's crazy because I have like I guess like this unknowing built up resentment. It comes off sometimes as aggressive to some, but it's protective, and only a Black woman would understand that. I don't expect people to understand the rage of Black women sometimes, or our ability to get how we feel across the first time in an abrasive way. I don't know how to beat around bushes because this is the only way I know how to be. Nobody was coming to save me. And I'm a Black woman. At the end of the day, I come from generations of other Black women. The only thing that's really keeping us alive is our ancestors and the will of God. I was even talking to like my own family about that. Like, do you realize all that we go through in Black households that we are told to just forget about? Growing up in the suburbs, I've seen how some of my friends were raised, and then I look at some of the stuff and I'm like, how could you expect me to be normal after all of that? I feel like this is the generation that is like breaking, like they've been saying, those generational curses. Look, this happened to us and it wasn't right, but it's not like that no more, and it don't have to be like that anymore. I don't like the whole victim thing. I don't like seeing my people in a state of victimization because it's like it's almost like the oppressor doesn't even have to do much. It's like you're carrying it on yourselves. If your ancestors could get through all of that and still build an entire nation and change the world, what is your what is your excuse? That's what I've had to do to myself. I've had to like not be a victim. Like my mom wasn't there, my dad wasn't there. I was abused at the hands of these people. But yeah, you know, what was I gonna do? Just live with that? And that was what's crazy, my therapist. So I had finally found a very good therapist when I was around like right when I came back from Atlanta. So I had to have been about 22 because I met Mia's dad when I was 23, 22. And I was explaining to her my life, and she was like, "Well, what if you never get that apology? What if they never change? What if they never love you? Like she just and what now?" And after all the medication I'd been on, do I want to be a victim? Like this is now my choice to keep allowing this to beat me down. Because really, nobody owes me nothing. I didn't even get to choose the parents that I had. I definitely don't get to choose the people that my neighbors. If that was the case, I would have chose to have parents who were there for me. If it really mattered at the end of the day. That's what I'm saying. Like, we can't be selective with what's broken, in the system of life. I don't feel like racism is the worst thing in the world. Shoot me. I'm sorry. I don't. Okay. I think that broken people, creating other broken people, I feel like just neglect within like your own system of life before you can even focus on what somebody else is doing. Do you even have your stuff together? Are you living life right? Are you taking care of your people? I've had a life that, and I don't want to say it was all bad because it wasn't, but those moments, all it takes is that little bit of time. I didn't have that much time to be a child before I had to be an adult. It's up to 18, that's what we get, but I really started at 16, and a lot of children even start younger than that. And the children before us, they started cooking at 4 years old. Black slaves, 4 years old, you was cooking and cleaning and stuff. Do you want to be the victim or do you want to be the superhero in your life? And I wanted to be the hero. That's what happened.
Amen.
Thank you.
Yeah. Victim to victor is the
Yes.
Thomas Sowell.
Yeah.
Candace Owens.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Jordan Peterson would say.
You like Candace Owens?
She's interesting.
I like Candace Owens.
She gets out there sometimes.
I don't like when people be trying to do her in.
Yeah,
I
like Candace Owens. I didn't
agree with everything
really
she
offensive.
said. But listen, Candace is a knowledgeable Black woman. Okay, so it doesn't matter how you feel about what she does with that knowledge. Black people need those kind of leaders. Who do we have? I just want to know that. Who do we have right now? Right. Who is really on our side right now? Like nobody. Like Megan Thee Stallion still doing twerk. Everybody's still going around. Like none of this shit is happening.
Yeah,
I don't understand.
Kamala Harris rallies.
Like how can you not just
twerking?
Like it's serious right now, and Candace actually is treating it like it's serious. And I feel like, and this is just about like, and maybe I speak to only like my people. That's kind of what I try to focus on. I feel like the white people is on the white people. That's up to y'all. Y'all talk to them. I'll be talking to my people because that's what I care about, really. So I feel like you need to be choosing battles wisely. You need to pay attention, you know what I'm saying, to who your leaders are. You need to know that you are worth more.
Exactly. Take it all,
take everything in. I feel like you have to, if you want to be smart in life, you need to know everything. Even the things you don't want to know, you need to be knowledgeable of.
Yeah.
All of it.
Yeah. I mean, she's gotten a little out there with some of the anti-Jewish rhetoric and this idea that like all Jews are fake, that they're basically like this kind of Khazarian race. So I didn't even know that you were Jewish, but it doesn't even matter because I am such a child of God. And I made a video about Charlie Kirk, and I said that I felt like he was a man who did satisfy the kingdom of God in certain ways. Like he was a righteous man. Did he have an ego like most men? And ego is the devil. I feel like he let that lead him sometimes. Yeah.
Religion is just a system of belief. As long as it serves the kingdom of God at the end of the day, and we all have the same understanding.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what matters to me. So I don't really pay that much attention to...
It sounds like you pay a lot of attention.
No, I mean, you know what I mean.
I know. I haven't talked about this yet, the Charlie Kirk assassination, but one of my thoughts is always who benefits from the crime. So if you're a detective, you have to look at a crime, and the first question in order to determine who done it or who the culprit is who benefits. Strongest benefactor of his death is the Democratic Party. There was no one more dangerous to the Democratic Party than Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk was changing the hearts and minds of the younger generation towards conservatism, towards conservative values, towards Christ. He was changing people's minds. He was on college campuses. There was no one scarier.
So
if you're the Democratic National Convention.
I didn't really know anything about him until after, and then I did my research and I started looking at his videos. You have to be able to admit the truth. The truth is scary and it hurts. And I know that,
set you free.
But it will set you free. The actual true human slave traffickers were African slaves that Africans actually for 300 years in prison kidnapped African children and women and sold you to Europeans, because blacks seem to think that Europe came over there and stole you. Or no. Africans sold Africans to Europe during a time during the slave trade or the transatlantic slave trade, when certain people was trading land or whatever they had. Africans had people to sell, okay? And that's why parts of Africa is still underdeveloped, because they drained themselves of their most valuable resource, their people. My people don't know that. They seem to think that Africa was this beautiful place, and why don't we go back? Are you, what?
Yeah, what happened to Liberia?
They don't even teach slavery in Africa. Like there are like Michael Blackson, there are like several Africans here in America who have said they did not even taught slavery. They didn't know much about slavery in Africa. Why do you think that is? Because
Victor mindset.
There's so much
about the Nigerian
to
community.
History that you don't know. You know what I'm saying? And really, it's you not knowing that's really keeping you slaved. So stop lying to yourself. I feel like, and it's okay.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
So you're not supporting reparations.
My man is white, y'all. He give me all the reparations that I need, baby.
It reminds me of the Palestinian chicken episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm.
You want some reparations? Look, stop being afraid to date white guys. That's the closest you go get to some reparations. is marrying a white man. So no, I'm kidding.
You can beat his ass in the bedroom.
No, I don't beat his ass. No, I'm nice. No, that's funny. I had to.
That was awesome.
But no, I don't believe in I don't believe in that. I feel like you can have anything that you want. Like, look around. There are so many successful Black, white.
Yeah.
There's so many successful people in this world. Let go of your own fear and your own insecurities. Stop looking around you. Like, I'm telling you, I don't watch the news. I don't know about this stuff until after it's happened, and then I have to go and do my research. I don't watch TV. I don't know what's on Netflix. I'm
delete Netflix.
I'm telling you honestly, I don't know. Like, it's not until, like, if I'm hanging out with a friend or something, they turn on something, like, I don't know nothing about this. I don't watch TV at all.
Smart.
My daughter is the only one who occupies my TV in my house.
You read the Bible?
Yeah, I be every day, but it's just like I kind of just focus on whatever I need to hear at that moment. And it just depends because I do so much throughout my day. I don't really have time.
I just bought myself a really, really nice Bible in the New International Version. So for me, I think one of the reasons that the word didn't really resonate with me was the King James, kind of like very flowery. He doth knoweth that this, whatever. And so all that kind of flowery language, it just really, I didn't like it. And so the New International is incredible. It's the same exact translation. So it's translation from the original Aramaic and Greek, but it's in real words that you can read. So it reads, it's a narrative. It's a historical narrative. I think people don't know that. They think the Bible is like parables, and they think it's, that it's like what somebody thought about what happened. It's a history book. And even Genesis, even the Old Testament is a history.
Yeah.
It's told as a history. It gives the descendants and the ancestors of Christ going back 40 generations. Why do we need to know that Jesus Christ is descended from King David? It's important. Why do we need to know who our ancestors are? Because they're rooting really for us on the other side.
ADHD. So it's hard for me to read the Bible the way some people read it. So what I taught myself to do is, so whenever I'm feeling, I will go into like my Google search, right? And I'll say, give me a scripture about feeling anxious. Give me a scripture about ego or anything, whatever I'm going through at the time. And then I'll find it, and then I'll go to it in my Bible. It's different stuff like that. I use the different tools that God gives me because, like, I said, I really found him through my suffering. And so now it's just like, I'm just trying to hold on. And I go to church probably about like twice a month. And my church is like 45 minutes away from me now at this point.
Wow.
Yeah,
wow.
Now it is. Because I almost got married and I was living with this other guy in West Bloomfield. And that's how I got acquainted to that church. I just use all the tools that he gives me. People, the Bible, church. It could even be, just walking down the street. You never know. I'm always connected to the Holy Spirit.
Pastor. You'd like my pastor a lot, 180 Church.
Mm-hmm. I'm always connected to the Holy Spirit and wondering what I can do. I was at my daughter's school one day, right? And I talked about this in my little ministry I was talking about on my TikTok, because I try to give examples, of some of, the shadow work and the consciousness. So me working with kids, right? I'm at my daughter's school. I'm signing her out. And there's like this little boy and this lady is trying to get him out the door of the school. It wasn't given like it was his mom. It gave like maybe it was his aunt or something like that who had to pick him up early or something. But he did not want to leave. He was giving the hardest time. He was screaming, holding onto the door. And it's like, I could not even get my name down. I was so like, pulled to it. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go over here and I'm going to help her. I said, do you mind if I help you? Wow. But what I want to say is it's little stuff like that. Like we're taught like in this world, like to just mind our own business. Like that's what society's standard is. But sometimes God is saying this is your business. And I want you to understand that what you are able to see is not for your entertainment. And at the very least, it should make you feel something. When you see children suffering, when you see homeless people suffering, when you see people being treated unequally, you need to do something about it, or you need to hold yourself accountable and making sure that you're a better person at the very least. At the very least, is there anybody in my, around me that may feel like this, who I can reach out to? I'm just all about like, literally, we all need each other. Like people need people. Like when God wants to change your life, he sends another person. Okay. He sends that teacher who believes in you. He sends that doctor who is going to do whatever to save your life. He sends the love of your life. He sends that child that's going to save your life. People are so important. And it seems like in this world, we're being taken away from each other. There is this, I don't know, kink to divide people in nations right now. And I don't get that. It's a choice. Don't let it happen. Don't let it be you.
I would say an agenda.
An agenda, for sure. It is.
We need to be resensitized. So you're talking about how people aren't feeling. Well, there's, like you said, the kink or the agenda that is designed to keep us from feeling. So the 24-hour news cycle, I would say psychotropic medication, so SSRIs, antipsychotics, they have their uses. But for a lot of people, it's just taking away that feeling. It's losing pain, suffering, but it's also losing joy.
Yeah.
And so it kind of, it's a disconnect. We have to reconnect. That's kind of how I see part of our goal, big part of our goal. And the work of anxiety, the work of maybe even ADHD or any kind of challenge is about reconnecting with nature. And so getting back to our roots of growing our own food, raising bees, having fruit trees, being self-sufficient.
Now is not the time to be naive. Like, I'm sorry. Like, if you're still talking about conspiracy theories, this and that, like, no.
It's here.
Like, please.
It's here.
Like,
put the tinfoil hat on.
Yeah, like, stop. I feel like people just need to, wake up,
Wake up and smell the napalm.
For sure. Wow.
How do you balance
I am going to need
time?
like 2 days rest after this. Do you know how
It's intense, right?
This kind of depth that you go, and it's draining, right?
I used to do 4 a month when I was in Pittsburgh.
I'm telling you.
Here I'm doing 1 a month. But yeah, it's a lot of work. It is.
To talk about things that matter, like that is like, it's draining
and to
be
try to
a
get
good
it right.
person and to have a heart. I promise you. It really is. It is.
How do you know? So you were talking about your solo projects, but how can you divide your time between what you're doing in collaboration, this exciting BLKJAC project, and then your own music? Which songs go where, and how do you divide it up?
The stuff I do with Kenny, that's like whenever he's in town, we'll get that done at his studio. And then I can get a lot of my own solo stuff done at his studio, because at the same time, me and the girls, I still use kind of the same producers that the girls use. Like, we all kind of work with the same group of people. So it's not hard to stay connected. You know what I'm saying? My schedule works itself out right now. I'm just grateful.
Why do you think people have to leave Detroit? So why did Eminem have to go to LA? Why did you have to go to Atlanta? Why are people fleeing to Nashville, Alice Randall to Nashville, through DC, many of the other, Motown to the West Coast was a big one. Why do people have to leave to make it?
I feel like lack of opportunity originally, is why you leave, because, depending on what you're searching for, some of it you might have to go out and get from elsewhere. You know what I'm saying? Depending on what it is you want from, what you're doing in this industry. And at one point, I felt like I needed to leave, but now I don't have any plans on ever leaving Detroit. Again, all my faith is in God. I don't have a plan for myself because I'm just going along with his plan right now. And that's just the truth. And it's just been happening the way it's happening. I think it's okay to have opportunities, maybe that you have to, but as far as leaving Detroit, I would never leave. I made that decision years ago that I would never leave Michigan, that I'm staying right here. I haven't lived in Detroit, like the inner city, since I was very, very young. My grandparents moved us to the suburbs when I was like in the 4th grade. I was raised in the suburbs. Detroit is Detroit. So that's metro, that's everything. Like, this is all Detroit to me. I would never leave Michigan. I love it here. I love all the 4 seasons. Like I said in our song, all 4 seasons, the snow, the fall, like we got the Great Lake. There's a lot of native land here. I feel like it's a spirit, it's an energy. And I've been all over. And I'm telling you, me and my friend started that thing. Detroit would never. It was like, I don't see what's so great about going somewhere else. I must be so secure in myself because nothing feels like home. To me, it's just a different, I can't describe it. It's a different feeling, and it's almost like a comfort for me and knowing what I know about the history of Detroit. Detroit is on the upcoming right now. Like, I love what's happening to Detroit right now. Like, good for us. I rebuke the devil in Detroit. Don't play with Detroit, okay? I don't play that.
Hudson building, new
people are not going to talk down in Detroit, and people are starting to visit Detroit and see that it's nothing like, because I've been to everybody's hood, y'all. That's why I said, when they be talking stuff about Detroit, it's so ghetto. Our homeless people never do the stuff y'all homeless people be doing. Okay, please. No, you have to come here and find out, baby. Come find out. They lied to you, boo.
Woodward is crazy right now. I mean, I really don't recognize the city a lot of the time. All the new stadiums. I remember all the casinos going up, of course, and Greektown changing from this kind of like isolated pocket to this hub. And once they finished the pedestrianization of the main drag in Greektown. That's going to be gorgeous. Yeah. The I-375 corridor getting re-elevated. So they're gonna put I-375 as a surface level street, as a boulevard, which will restore. The whole idea is like restorative justice for the Black Bottom and Paradise Valley.
Yeah.
Of course, that project is on hold apparently, and it's sort of the estimate has gone up from 400 million to maybe 600 million, whatever. But the Hudson building was 1.6 billion. Henry Ford has a brand new hospital, which is going up, Project Grand on Grand Boulevard. Yeah. We have my friend Carlton Goals, who I definitely have to talk about, running the founder of the Detroit Sound Conservancy.
So this is kind of like a little bit off topic, but can I ask you something?
Of course. How
do you feel about them trying to get Gretchen or whatever to let them unleash the federal guards into Detroit? You know how they did it over there in Chicago and stuff. They trying to do it in Detroit.
I saw a post yesterday. This
you
morning.
You think they're gonna let them do that?
No, they won't.
The Detroit not gonna let them do that.
There's no let them or not, right? It's happening in Chicago right now.
Yeah, but then Chicago allowed it, right?
No,
or no.
He said he didn't want it. In fact, they have a court case trying to block the ICE from coming to Chicago. So they just passed a law yesterday.
I don't watch
in Illinois. The governor of Illinois just wrote an executive order that said that there will be ICE-free zones in Chicago. But basically, my thought from this morning was like, it was just like this terrible, tragic story. Young man gunned down on the east side, another murder in Detroit. There's probably 3 or 4 a week here, minimum, I would say, in the city limits. It is truly tragic. This is a tragic loss of life, which is 100% preventable. Yeah. We could fix this problem. Am I comforted when I see police everywhere? Like, is it really like, well, it depends. When I was in the subway in New York City, when I was running away from thieves with my camera gear when I lived in Crown Heights, yeah, I loved to see cops in the subway. That meant I was safe. For other people, it could be traumatizing. It depends on your relationship and your experience and your history. So it's a complicated subject, but do I want more people being murdered in Detroit, in any city in America? No, I don't. If you just arrest people that are like serious criminals, like gang members,
I've dealt with the cops.
Crime goes away
in my life, mainly when I was younger, but because I'm 34, by the way, because people seem to think I'm so young. Like, people be thinking I'm 22, 23. I'm like, do I really give that? I don't think I give that. I don't know if I've ever gave that. Anyways, maybe. But I've dealt with the cops, and I've probably had one experience where I was treated unfairly, and I was actually like wrongfully, what do you call it?
Detained or
arrested. They so I was literally profiled. So this was during the time I was working at the club, so I had to be like my early 20s, and there was a 7-Eleven like near the apartment I was living at. So it was raining. So I had a gray hoodie on. So I'm walking to the 7-Eleven. I think I may have went to go get like some Rellos or something. I probably was smoking weed at the time. Who knows? And so I go there and I'm walking back and these cops roll up on me with like lights on me. So I'm like, what the hell? Mind you, I had just came back from the club. So I probably had been drinking, and they were searching me. They're like, there was somebody in this area who broke into a house. I'm like, well, it wasn't me. So they're searching me. I had nothing on me, just like my little wallet and stuff. And so they detained me in the back of this cop car, right? True story. They detained me in the back of this cop car. And I'm pissed. Like like when I was younger, like I didn't really have a filter. Like I was just like angry and like so I was talking shit to this cop the whole time. So they're finally like, "Oh, it wasn't her. We got the person." So I'm like, "I told you, motherfucker. Let me go." Right? So this man, he didn't like put on my whole record while I'm in the back talking shit. So he plotting my whole little thing because he know they about to let me go because he knew it. But he wanted to teach me a lesson because I was talking shit. I had like a warrant, like in like a different city. And like usually like if the city doesn't want to come pick you up, they would just let you go. Don't ask me why I got so much experience. Y'all, when I was younger, like I told you, I went through some times. I'm grateful for my experiences, actually. I learned a lot. But anyways, so yeah, I had a warrant. So and they didn't want me because it was like a really really petty warrant, like a little traffic thing or something like that. And so he dropped me off there. Like, so like in the police world, that means you have to, for a cop to offer to drop you off to another city that didn't even want you, that said, let her go. This moment I got to that, because I'm like, why are you taking me there? So I get there, the cops at the other place, I'm not going to name where it was at, but the cops at the other place, they're like, oh, you must have really made him mad. But in that moment, kids, I just learned to handle myself differently with certain people because like I said, you don't get to pick and choose the people you come in contact with, not your mother, not your father, not your neighbor, not even the cops. So I just try to like be on my best behavior. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes like it's not important to know your rights. The only right you need is the right to live. Okay. And that's how I feel. So if you care about that, you just need to handle yourself differently. Now, granted, situations still happen even when people are handling themselves civilized, but that'll take care of itself. Like that's not even our battle to fight. I am not fighting like the devil's people. I feel like my message kind of like gets lost in translations to Black people because they often take it as I'm selling out because they take it as being neutral. I'm not neutral about nothing. You know what I'm saying? You don't know how I feel. Y'all don't know how I feel, but how I feel doesn't matter. Just like how nobody feels what matters. What matters is what's right and what's righteous. You know what I'm saying? Like we talked about with Charlie Kirk. I don't like to see my people fighting each other. How are they against us and we're against each other? We're killing each other. We're blaming the system, but we don't even pose a threat to them. Like the gangs here, not even like the Black Panthers, they like fighting each other and killing other Black families and kids. So I don't get that. Like me, I don't get that. My grandfather was my father. That was the person who held my family up. Like that was my everything, He was killed by a 16 and 17-year-old Black kid. And I will never forget because during the time they actually found his killers was the same time that the Trayvon Martin thing kind of like came about. And, I just remember thinking like my grandfather's killers were 17 and 16 and they got away for it for a long time and they got like 25 years. They'll be out to live then see that again. You know what I'm saying? My grandfather's dead. And I'm telling you, his experiences like that just make you just kind of wake up a little. Like, and just, you know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, just, I don't know. All I can do is just
How
be
hard?
a testament.
How hard?
I can just be a testament. That's all. But yeah.
Erica forgiving Charlie's killer was really powerful. It made me think about the Charleston 9.
And my grandfather wasn't even in his own, like we had moved to the suburbs. He was out driving around and he stopped like in, our old city we lived in, where like we like in the inner city. And, somebody tried to rob him, and then they didn't only just like rob him, they shot at him, then they robbed him, and then they shot him, and, again, it was just really awful. So nobody is like safe out here. You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, I don't feel like anybody should be victimizing themselves. I think that we should be trying to live longer by protecting each other and protecting ourselves. That's what we need to be doing.
When I was planning on moving to Detroit, when I finally kind of accepted the job in 2023, 2024, I was thinking about how I could maybe contribute or give back. One of my thoughts was about the food. So, you mentioned we want people to live longer. Well, what are the things that are killing Black folks? Heart disease, diabetes, stroke, would be, and cancer are kind of like the four horsemen. Dementia. I interact with the dementia side a lot. For me, it all goes back to the food. I think basically the food in America is poison, and especially in food deserts and in impoverished communities, we need an alternative. So one thought I had was to do like vending machines of healthy food that I could kind of like.
Yeah.
It's proven to be more challenging to implement than I thought. It kind of depends on what type of technology you want to do, and there's security concerns and all different issues. But I do think that
it'd be nice for it to start at schools.
Correct. That's exactly
because
right.
if you pay attention to the school lunches in other countries, it's not how the school lunches is here, and it's awful.
We could teach every single high schooler, let's say every single middle schooler should graduate from 8th grade knowing how to fix a car, how to fix a bike, how to do basic plumbing, how to do basic electrical work, how to do basic carpentry, and how to cook, shop, and prepare a healthy meal.
Like children are in school, are taught to be in school for even longer than, throughout high school, college, and all that kind of stuff. Like, I feel like, why isn't a lot of this stuff taught in school anymore? I don't know.
Skills.
Some of it was, but life skills are very, very, very important. But also, parents, that's another thing I was going to say. The only way is to just start it in your own home. You are going to have to take the accountability and the initiative to literally, I know it's hard. My daughter, she loves Fruit Loops. I won't let a box of Fruit Loops in my house. She knows that. Her nana sent her home. My daughter is Italian. She's Sicilian, actually. Her nana sent her home some Fruit Loops. I said, I don't let you have Fruit Loops. She's like, I told you, nana, she was going to let me have Fruit Loops. And it's hard for me, but just knowing, how, Kellogg's, was that Kellogg's?
Yeah.
Kellogg's handled themselves with the whole, food diet thing. I just feel like, because I'm telling you, I just see stuff. So, but all I need to do is see it once for me to hold myself accountable. All right, we ain't doing Fruit Loops. But that's all it takes. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that, taking control. You know what I'm saying? It was hard for me to stop drinking soda. I was a very bad alcoholic at once. That was hard. Like, I just, any little thing I see as a problem, and I'm learned as I go along, I'm just eliminating it. You know what I'm saying? And I do that even with my daughter's diet. But it all starts at home.
It all has to be taught to them. If you feed your kid ribeye and papaya, that's what they'll love.
Yeah,
if you feed your baby, once they wean off of breast milk, if you start with ground beef, they'll eat ground beef.
My daughter loves healthy stuff.
They'll eat chicken. They'll eat whatever you feed them, really.
They will, exactly.
It's like, if it's what you like to eat. And so, the healthy.
But you'll be crazy. But I don't know if
you have to teach them to eat junk.
I don't know if it is like a financial thing. I don't know what it is, but yes, there's so many families you see. It's just like all freezer food. I know so many kids, and even just working in ABA, seeing some of the lunches, and it's like literally no healthy food. And I worked as a paraprofessional for Livonia Public Schools before I started in ABA and focusing on autism. But I was doing that for transportation, so I would help with whether it was a kid with Down syndrome, there might be kids who have wheelchairs. So I even worked with general ed kids sometimes.
Well, it could be part of the reason for the explosion of autism, and that was one of the things that RFK was talking about, was that folate deficiency could be playing a role, and so they even have a treatment for folic acid supplementation.
Yeah,
but it's definitely a big problem. There's
everything.
1 in 20 kids is out of control.
A huge problem. What your kids are watching on TV is a huge problem. You need to look at everything like it's a huge problem, and you need to be the solution. That's all I got to say. Yeah.
Be the solution. Fix your family.
Fix yourself first. Fix yourself first. You have to
clean your bed. Make your bed.
That's another thing. There's a lot of broken people out here walking around, and you're looking for people to heal you. Okay? People are just as broken as you are. You have to be willing to heal yourself. You have to be truly selfless. and the way that you are handling people in today's world, because I promise you, we all have, problems. We all have anxieties. And some of us may not show it like others do. Some of us, we handle it, you know what I'm saying, with grace. But that doesn't mean, that we're not going through our own suffering. You might see people who look blessed and you're beating yourself up. I want that, or, you know what I'm saying, they're lucky, or why does not. No. At the end of the day, I'm going to tell you one thing. It don't matter if you're rich. It don't matter if you're poor. We all go through the same cycles inside. We all joy, disappointment, sadness. Some of the most successful, richest people are not happy. Understand that true happiness, true joy, it literally does come from within. It literally, and I hate to say that, if you are somebody who still does not believe in God, just pray. It won't hurt you. Just pray. You don't even got to say the word God. Just pray and just speak as if you were talking to whatever you would consider a God.
You have a God.
You do,
the
yeah.
The question is,
right.
Do you want to worship the all-powerful God?
Right, exactly.
Or the God of Hades?
Because I'm going to tell you.
You got to pick one.
The devil blesses his people just as much as God blesses his people. I just want to say that. Whoa. I just want to say that. So you got to really, you got to pay attention and be very mindful of whose side you're playing on.
Whoa. I think our blessings are more powerful.
Way more powerful.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they don't know that because they look at things like wealth and power as blessings. And that is what is gonna really, really, really fool you. Fool you. You should also always seek the kingdom of God first.
It's hard.
You will gain true wealth and true power.
Hedonism to me is that's the alternative to faith, and God-centered living is basically sense worship and hedonism. So am I going to behave like a child where everything is about what I can do to feel better, how I can scratch this itch right now?
Yeah.
Or am I going to live in a way that honors the fact that we're all created as God in God's likeness, and that humans are spiritual, that they're holy, and yourself, really. That's the other thing about sexual impropriety and not being honest is you think that you're taking advantage of somebody else. You think that you're using them for pleasure. Doing the same exact thing to yourself.
Exactly.
You're defiling yourself.
Exactly.
The Lionel Richie interview on happened this week on Rogan. I thought it was so interesting. First of all, there's a paragraph in the book in My Black Country about Lionel Richie, because he did for a bunch of reasons. One is she brings him up as an example of Black excellence when she does her whole chapter on Los Angeles country. So she's talking about all the different artists that end up migrating to LA. And she actually has a tour in the book of their homes. So she gives the addresses, and you can go to LA and visit the hacienda where Lionel Richie lived. You can go and see, all these different Black country artists. It's really dope. It's cool. one of my favorite parts of the book. But Lionel Richie tells a story on Rogan.
I'm getting hot.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I usually don't even get hot.
We need maybe a fan in here, but it interferes with the recording. I used to record in an attic in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, you told me.
It was 90 degrees up there.
You like being hot? I can't be hot.
I do. My wife hates it. She's from Miami, so she runs the AC 24/7 at 68 degrees. I don't like the heat. I like the windows open. I like to cook.
I hate having to go anywhere south that's hot during a hot season.
March in Austin
hot
is okay?
Bothers me. I like being cold.
Yeah. You don't vacation and then
Keys? I do vacation. I've been to the Keys.
Mexico? You like Mexico?
No, I haven't been to Mexico. I
don't know. Tulum yoga retreat. Yeah. Or a ayahuasca session. You don't need it. You found your spirituality.
Yeah.
Okay. Lionel Richie's story. He has letters from Booker T. Washington and George Washington Carver framed in his house currently. Mm-hmm. And the letter from Booker T. Washington is actually crocheted. And it was the letter because his grandma married him.
Aww.
But he had a country album called Tuskegee.
Tuskegee.
Yep. He also wrote Lady for Kenny Rogers and
Nice.
Deep River Woman. Oops. This idea that country music is for men and pop music is for women. I mean, think about like how few successful country stars there are that are female and how many like white men there are and even black men, but it's really not a female dominated space. But the pop space has become like all female dominated with Taylor Swift, with Sabrina Carpenter, with Chappell Roan, et cetera, et cetera.
Mm-hmm.
So where's all the pop men at? What happened to NSYNC and the Backstreet Boys?
I don't know, but when I think pop, I think the king of pop. I think Michael Jackson. And then, I mean, yeah, then when you think of it from, you know, like millennial 90s pop and sing Backstreet Boys, I didn't even think about that until now. There are no pop male artists out there. And
the Jonas Brothers, they tried to do a thing. That was like a brief.
I don't really
Justin Timberlake
follow too much.
Well, The Weeknd. The Weeknd is exciting, sort of exciting to me. Mm-hmm. I liked his cameo in Uncut Gems.
I know a few of his songs. I don't really listen to a lot of like the music that like is popular to like today. Yeah. No, I listen to different types of music, like not that stuff. I know it because I've heard it, you know, but it's not on my playlist. Mm-hmm. I like a lot of songwriters. Like I have a lot of like underground people in my playlist, like Tiara Thomas. She's a songwriter. She's a talented songwriter. I have her on my playlist. Who else do I listen to? I like Chloe Bailey.
Okay.
No, not Chloe. Holly. I like them both, but I listen to a lot of Holly Bailey. I like them both, but I listen to a lot of Holly Bailey lately. I like her way of songwriting.
Of the inspirations of those people, are there people that you would want to work with? Are there any people in Detroit or any people internationally or anyone that you would want to do a song with, write a song
like for? Internationally?
Anyone.
Heck yeah, everybody. I mean, Chloe, Holly, if they're still doing music together, because they're like a sister group, but I know they went solo, but they're really good writers. I appreciate writers. I like everybody, but I like appreciate the writers. You know what I'm saying? And so I listen to a lot of writers' music. Billie Eilish, I love her. I would love to sit and write with her. Who else do I like? So many people. I don't know. It's too many to name.
How do you feel about Taylor?
I love Taylor Swift. My daughter's a Swiftie. My daughter don't play. We threw her a Travis Kelce / Taylor Swift birthday party last year. I went all out. I got her like this. I'll have to show you the pictures. This is like a Chief and Taylor Swift cake. And I had like all football decorations and like Taylor Swift, like Happy Meal boxes for the girls. I go all out for my baby. But she don't play about Taylor Swift. I like Taylor Swift. I think she's a good role model for children. I just hold myself to different principles. Like that's why I try not to like push my opinion too much on people, because this is just what works for me. Like I don't like cussing in my songs. You won't like. I purposely did that to where when I was younger and wrote a lot of music, I did. And when I got older, I didn't feel it was necessary. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, just making those little tiny changes. Like I feel like every 1% leads up to that 100%. You know, and it doesn't take much to be in God's grace, and it doesn't really take much to truly be happy and like be a blessed person. You know, in this life. You know, it just takes like a little bit of discipline. I would like to work with any and everybody. Like to be honest, people, because I listen to my own music. I write music for me. That's what I've. Even though I wasn't in music, I never stopped writing music. So like that's like when Kenny found me and like he's like, you really have all this music just sitting here? He was the lead guitarist for the Kid Rock band, but Kenny's worked with a lot of people. Shaka Khan, he did the Jimi Hendrix tour. Kenny's a legend. He's worked with everybody. He's taught me a lot about music. He recently took me to like a Buddy Guy, one of his last like shows out this way, and I got to like meet him, and I was backstage. Wow. I got to meet Buck Cherry. You're crazy, man. Yeah. Like I told you, I was a stripper, so I was like, "Oh my god!" Yeah, I love that song.
Taj Mahal was here. Sorry, you'll like Taj Mahal. You'll check him out when you're going through this.
But yeah, he took me, and that's the thing. I don't even go to concerts on my own. If I told y'all the way I lived, you would be like, "This girl is like." I happen to go out if I'm invited out, but I'm always finding something to do. You know, around me, it's plenty to do always. But anyways,
you make sourdough.
Do I make sourdough?
Yeah. Do you cook?
Yes, I do cook. I'm actually a very good cook. I'm a mom, so I have to cook.
Yeah.
I cook. I actually I take care of my grandmother.
Oh, wow.
I'm a full-time mom. Her dad has her like a couple of days out the week, but I'm a full-time mom.
Yeah.
Okay. So I have a lot going on, as much as, doing music and being in like 3 bands. You know what I'm saying? Because I do my stuff, and then I do, the stuff with the girls. I do stuff with Kenny, and then I do like little stuff in between. I'm constantly working with my clients. At one point I had 2 clients I was with. So I have one from 9 in the morning to 12, and then one from 1 to 4, and now I'm back to 1. When I was doing that, I mean, like literally, it would drop my daughter off to work, go see my client, go to the studio.
Idle hands are the devil's playground.
And I don't like for my mind to run idle, because like when I say my ADHD, like it is very, very severe. I just kept myself busy.
Yeah.
The thing with the book that came about, because we didn't even talk about the book.
Yeah, what book? Oh, yeah. Let's tell me about the book. I was so excited to hear about this. Yes.
The blanket book.
Yes, I love this.
So,
because kids with special needs have like sensory, well, some kids with like sensory processing issues, they like certain textures, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I sent you like you saw that little video I sent you of like the little prototype. I had sold that myself. I was working in a center, an autism center, and like in most of the centers, they have like a little like library part, like with books. And, some of the kids will read, but for the most part, depending, like I said, on how severe the autism is, it's hard to get them to really gravitate towards books. Like they are able to learn things very easily, but it's what is going to keep them engaged to want to learn. I had like this really long sweater that I would wear, and I didn't care who it was, but every day a kid would wrap themselves up in it. Like if they saw me walking by, because it came all the way to the ground, they would just wrap themselves up in it. And so I'm like, I wonder, if there are any like fabric books like that, but like that felt like an actual blanket. And I came up with the idea. And I actually just like, because that's how my brain is. Like the moment I came up with the idea, I went on Amazon and I ordered all this stuff. And I started messing around with it. And I had to like really like, I don't know, kind of educate myself on this kind of stuff. And so it's made out of just blankets. I have to like order the cotton material. It's almost like what you use for like quilts and stuff. Each side is a different color, because it's I love my red blanket. I love my blue blanket. It'll be stuff like that. So it's really to cater to like younger age autistic kids, but most of the centers do cater to all the way up to about like 12. You know what I'm saying? Some are older. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like it starts at that very young age.
Will there be any pictures or words, or what do you think? So
there'll be words and there'll be colors, right? So the blanket will be the color of, the page they're talking about, right? Yeah. And then I want to even carry it on to like the blanket book of patterns, where there'll be patterns. Like I love my polka dot blanket. And then even the blanket book of like Christmas. I love my snowman blanket, stuff like that. But it's just little stuff like that helps build the community for autism. Like it's like literally everybody either has an autistic person in their family or knows somebody who has somebody in their family. Like you've heard of, or somebody close to you who has somebody, that they knew who had autism. It's so like widespread, but really the resources for it and the community for it is not really that great. It's not that big. I just felt like, just from my own experience, these kids deserve that. People have this kind of fear of autistic children, and I've been around them to know that they fear you. You have nothing to be afraid of. Like you have to learn how to deal with them. And I'm gonna tell you something. I've worked with general ed kids too. Special needs kids even follow directions better than general ed kids do. I know, seriously, they do. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's something that you don't understand, but autism awareness is important, because once you understand it, you could change people's lives. You have it's really not as complicated as you would think. That's all I could say about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I can't wait for the offline discussion. Yeah. This has been fun. Where are you playing? What are you releasing? Do you have anything else you want to plug? And then tell people how they can get in touch and follow you and join the movement and support you.
Oh my God. So right now, I just actually released my newest single, Other Stuff. Okay, so I'm actually going to be releasing my Other Stuff music video. Oh my God, I've been going back and forth on this date. It's, I might just drop it tomorrow, just out of nowhere. Who knows? Just follow me on Badonna.official. Okay.
Badonna.
Yeah, Badonna, like Madonna, but with a B. So Badonna.official. But that song actually debuted on Channel 995 Detroit Country Radio, y'all. while they was trying to say your girl was in country. Hey. No, I'm kidding. No, I really appreciate them for that. The Robin Holly Show. Shout out to them for debuting my song. So be looking out for the music video.
The video is really cool.
Constantly working on several projects, as you heard, BLKJAC, Badonna and Kenny Olsen. And then, of course, me just, being the bad Anna that I am, I'm working on my own project, and just be looking out for it. I'm in the studio all the time. I'm always writing. I have something special coming up. This project is, really important to me. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. It's gonna show people a different side of me that they haven't seen. That's all I can say. It gets like a little bit deeper and personal. Yeah.
This has been so cool. Thank you so much.
Oh, also, can I say one more thing?
Of course.
Me and Julian Joel, Badonna and Julian Joel, who's also another phenomenal country singer. Me and him have a song coming out called Unite the States. We actually just wrapped recording this song. It's in the process of being mastered, but we are dropping this song immediately, urgently, promptly, because we feel like it's something that the world needs right now. So be looking out for that. That is coming very, very soon as well. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, I really appreciate you all for listening, watching, making it this far. If you want to know about what's going on with the podcast, follow it on Spotify. It's the main platform. You're watching on YouTube. You're unique. You're one of a kind.
Aww.
But you can follow me on all socials with Your Dr. Gold, YOURDOCTORGOLD. Thank you so much. Take care of yourselves.
Thank you.
Be true to yourself.
This is amazing.
Honor the gifts that you've been given.
Oh my God, I hope I didn't make myself look crazy.